Hi everyone, thanks for having me today. I'm really pleased to be invited and to have an opportunity to speak. So I'll try, oh, it works, very nice. So as was mentioned before, I'm a technology person, I'm not a legal person. And for years I've been consulting legal teams on how they can automate their work. Sometimes we had projects very ambitious on implementing AI, implementing some complicated stuff. But today I would be more specific, more speaking about more down-to-earth topic. The topic is that sometimes good automations, good tools that we can implement right away are right at our hands, and we don't need to chase some big budgets and suppliers to do that, except Legito, of course, it's nice. So I've asked some people, and I will start with this very simple example, if they know what this QR code means. And like maybe only 50% of the time people know that if we would scan it, they would immediately receive my contact into their phones. Go ahead, you can do that. I'll be pleased. I'm just speaking about that sometimes things that present already for years are not known. This slide and credits for this slide goes for sure to Gartner. It's not mine or Deloitte's discovery. So they make this hype cycle. And on this hype cycle, they place trendy technologies which are mentioned in the press, which are mentioned in the media, social media, and people are buzzing about them on this curve. And so, as we can see, there is a lot of stuff that we hear about frequently that now have high expectations but very, very low utilization. And what we really should be focused about in terms of what should we start our automation procedure, our automation journey in the legal tasks, is something which is on the end, on the tail of this curve. And this is for sure contract management, risk management solutions, and privacy management solutions, e-discovery software, all you can see here. But before we will start doing that, it's important to mention more methodological, basic things. In Deloitte, we have this model. It's called Technology Transformation for Legal model. It is used also for other business teams, and it's quite useful. And I would like you to reflect yourself when you look at this model. So sometimes the very, very immature legal departments, and I'm pretty sure none of you are from this kind of departments, they work ad hoc. Okay, let's just deal with what we have without any specific processes. Then you understand that you have to build some processes to keep things in order, to keep things organized. And this is called forming legal function. And then you move to a managed. Managed function means that you have all your processes in place, things are very well organized, everything is in order, and this is where you start to use foundational technology. According to our surveys, when we speak to clients, when we have webinars, most of the legal departments realize themselves somewhere between formal and managed stages. And then after you think you consider yourself managed, you move yourself forward to more efficient when you substitute already some of the tasks you have with automation. And then when you're so good at that, we can speak of some transformative when you came up with exceptional ideas of utilizing AI, utilizing other stuff that just change how the whole business works. And this helps you to influence the whole business. And I want to mention here specifically that there is a thing that, this is not a scientific thing, this slide is more like a joke in my personal opinion, but I truly believe it exists. In big corporations, in medium corporations, in enterprises, I usually see that there is a syndrome of usual corporate knowledge separation. Or if you would take abbreviation of that, it's an enterprise sucks syndrome. So what it means basically is that you have a lot of teams. You have your own legal team if you're in-house legal, let's imagine that, and you have an IT team. What's your role? What's your role? You're doing a legal job, right? You're helping with documents, you're helping with M&As, some projects, IP, digital, whatever. You're thinking about your work every day, and you know your weaknesses. You know how to improve your work. You have, imagination to come up with that. You have some ideas to do that. At the same time, there is a great wall separation between you and with the IT guys, because IT guys, they kind of should monitor what's going on the market. They should understand how the tools that are present in the enterprise should work. And this is what I call this separation. There is a wall between you and the team. This is very, very common, and this is a problem. That's why I'm having this talk today. Finally, I'm finished with the introduction. And now I'll be very, very, very particular, very, very concrete. Let's talk about 3 examples of the technologies that most likely, like very, very high probability, you may have in your company that you can use for legal automation. I would start with Office 365. So Office 365, Word, Excel, so much fun. We all like it or hate it. It depends on the time. And then I will speak about Jira software. Jira is a classically known tool for accounting tasks for IT projects, and then talk a bit about robot process automation. So, many people know about classic functionality of Office, as I mentioned, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. We use PowerPoint every day in our job, but recently they moved towards making it more complex and more efficient, and they added a lot of stuff to do that. I would bring some examples of which technologies from the suite you can utilize for stuff connected with automated legal work. First is knowledge management and SharePoint. Well, if you have Office 365 subscription, most likely you would have SharePoint. But have you ever considered to use it as a place that can store all your legal knowledge? So people inside your team could refer anytime in a searchable format, in a structured format, to the memos you did, to the documents you did, and as well, people outside of the legal department that usually call you or email you with stupid questions like, hey, where is the latest form of the agreement? Where can I find it? Hey, and it's kind of every day the same. If you're in house legal, you know what I'm talking about. So I mean that you can organize your portal without any development, without any IT resources in a way that people would know where is it. You just have to put your imagination. As well as Microsoft is now pushing AI capabilities to process document automatically. And it's now included into the not basic, but most of the enterprise subscriptions. What this stuff can do, I'll show a bit later. And for sure, many of us already using SharePoint as a file archive, where we just store a mess of data. And now, recently, not relatively, recently they added approval workflows, and also very wide functionality of integrating that tool with other solutions on the market. And for sure, it's also an RPA, which is now included, that can do some post-contracting automation. A bit more details. This is like an image from the Microsoft, actually. I couldn't use any of the clients which I had because of, we're trying to keep secret things in secret. So, and this is just what they publish. Hey, you can take a look. We can organize a beautiful portals. There is an examples. There is a lot of documentation there. Just go ahead, be curious. And for example, I mentioned AI capabilities. So what they allow you to do actually is you can upload somebody else's text, somebody else's PDF, not the contract that you produce, but the contract that some counterparty sent to you, and it would automatically extract all the data that you want maybe later to use in a registry or whatever, like who is the counterparty, what's the address, what's the text number, who was signing the document, and so on. And when you are into stage when you want to build workflows and to keep things tracked, who approved what, this kind of stuff, also it's just built in. You don't need any programming skills at all. It's called low-code, no-code movement. So they kind of embedded right into the teams, right into the SharePoint Outlook altogether, an opportunity to say, yes, approve, and then you have a tracked records of who approved what at which moment, or just say no, and there's some comments. So it's automation of workflows. It works really nice when you have big volume and you're already tired of digging into emails. People who worked in this area, in-house legal approvals, know what I'm talking about. And then about integration, we had a very interesting project with Legito and with one of our common clients, where we integrated Legito with a SharePoint, where client had a contract archive, and Legito was responsible for creating documents and signing documents, which for sure Office 365 doesn't allow. And this was very complementary, and this is literally the image that shows that it was only 4 clicks to do that. It's 4 things that we added in Power Automate, and a bit of coding that you can see on the screen as a setup. And that's it, and that's how the whole project worked. And I'm really, really, really convinced that IT departments are able to help you with that, but you should push them. Let's talk about task tracking. So a lot of requests that we receive from clients are about how we make our work accountable, how we may know which legal team in a country or which particular member of legal team is doing what. And this is where task management tools come in place. And Jira is one of the most popular tools in the world. But it was first adopted by legal teams, by IT teams, for having a place where you can track all the tasks which you need to do in order to make a new digital product. But Atlassian, the creator of the tool, moved towards making it more democratized, and also they have a special, even landing page saying that, hey, you can do this, you can use us for your legal work. And they have even templates on how to do that. And for a number of our clients, we help to utilize Jira that IT department owns in order to be able to track tasks for legal departments and, having custom fields, having something related to the costs. So everything they would need in order to keep clear track of what team is about at the moment. It's called Jira. As well as the Confluence is a tool to store knowledge, and it helps you to create knowledge libraries, as well as SharePoint does, where you just store all your templates, you store all the information, and yourself or users from the corporation, from the enterprise can use it. Final thing I want to mention is RPA, Robot Process Automation. RPA is something that just emulates user clicks. I mean, if you imagine your work, you open up laptop, open Outlook, then you're searching through emails, then you copy something to somewhere, and if this is something repetitive that you do occasionally, this is where RPA takes place. It could be launched just on your computer and do work instead of you, or on the server and doing the same. And it is widely utilized, at least in medium-sized and large-sized corporation, as something that assists HRs, something that assists financial departments and so on. They usually used, for some complicated notifications when you should substitute a person that sends some reminders to some automation. This is very nicely used. But I've witnessed a very nice project where RPA was actually used to automate some of the legal job. So the robot was monitoring whatever contracts we have, whatever payments we have in according to the contract, and automatically, for example, reminding people or even sending notices which are part of the whole legal process that, hey, you haven't paid. Now we're starting to worry, and this is the official notice, right? So it's been sent as a person's notice, and it's absolutely valid. And there are many other examples. I hope we will be sharing this presentation with you, and you can read more in details which tasks it automated. But it can read SAP, read Oracle, take a look at the emails, compare all the stuff, what actually people are doing in their life. And as well, I want to give you this thought, which is really nice. If you think of a contract, and I'm showing specifically here interface of Legito, but it could be any other contract management system, what you receive as a person from it, you receive a text which you can read, make some conclusions, but also it is good to know that all kind of those systems, most of them, also represent your contract as a matter of parameters with the values. And the parameters with the values is something that robots can deal with. And I don't want to step on the ground on the things called smart contracting, which is, I think, is a more buzzing, and it has no real value, my personal opinion here. But the term of smart contracting is something that could be performed automatically, could be implemented if you use properly your contract management solution, integrate it properly with other tools, and then on top of that, you can use your robots. And I'm finishing already. I'm very good with timing. So instead of conclusion, I just want to remind you, and I want to articulate this once again. You are the one, legal people are the one who would be passionate. Don't wait IT guys to come up here with ideas. These three examples I just wanted to show you that most likely you have those licenses, you can use them. Be curious, ask questions. You may already have this one too. I'm pretty sure a lot of cases I've been involved to, we just reuse something companies already have. I didn't board a lot of licenses. And for sure, if you would go to the stage of development, there is no silver bullet. Please consider that most of the time you have to go in iterations to be able to do real breakthrough for automating your work and make it efficient. thank you so much for having me today. Maybe Yaroslav.
Cool. Was that like you? Thank you. I have one really important question. Is there anything in legal world that should be never automized?
Yeah, for sure. I strongly believe, so we are making projects that involve artificial intelligence, for example. And most of the people say, hey, AI is something that would substitute brain work later. But I'm strongly convinced that either it's too far from us, like hundreds of years, and most of us would be dead at this point. So I would say anything actually where you do your professional legal judgment. So I'm sorry, it's impossible to automate it.
And is there in this area anything that is for completely everyone, no matter how big the law firm is? Because there are many people from mid-sized law firms, and maybe for them it's expensive, it takes time. You work for Deloitte, you have all the resources you want to have.
Yeah, so you're asking what I would recommend to start with everyone. Basically, this presentation this is about. Start with SharePoint, just dig into the functionality it has and see what Microsoft offers you now. It is really not free, but you already pay for this, most likely.
Perfect. Thank you for your presentation.
Thanks for having me.
Dmitry Bespalov.
Thanks.